Your weather experience, here for you when it counts. This is Doc Deason's Weather, live now.
All right, everybody, it is 1:43. We've got now a tornado warning, which has been issued for folks in the Rusk County area. This will include you guys in the neighborhood of Henderson. So let's start to look at this and see what we can make out of things. First off, we'll pull the radar back up and get in heart of Rusk County. The Weather Service just coming out with this warning. So here's the city of Henderson proper. This will be on the east side of Henderson, it looks like. Yeah, so there's that signature that we were talking about here just within the last half hour or so when we were on last. You can see the kind of that good looking banding of winds blowing back in towards the Shreveport side versus the corresponding opposite movement of the wind there moving away. So this is going to be near Highway 7, east of 79, or east of 259, I should say. So we're talking about the east side of the city of Henderson proper. All right. So it's a new tornado warning. We haven't had one for our area so far this afternoon, but we do have one. We do have one now. So that is something we want to pay especially close attention to. So again, folks, in Henderson proper on the east side of town, if you're out along Highway 79, we need to be in our place of shelter here, and that's going to be again east of downtown. This storm is moving off to the northeast, and the movement on that is, let's see here, what have we got for movement on this guy? So we're saying movement northeast at 25. So the warning again, central Rusk County until 2:15. That's a tornado warning now. First one of these we've had this afternoon. But it has shown some good signs of strengthening pretty rapidly after we stepped off here just a few minutes ago. That thing really started to kind of ramp itself back up. And so I wanted to come back in and talk a little about that. So we're going to hang here for a bit and let this thing do what it's going to do and watch it, and hopefully in doing so help to give some additional warning to folks. If you've got people who are again in the Henderson area, particularly on the east side of town, out 79 and north of Highway 79, that's going to be where the greatest concern is going to be at for right now. So let me check a couple of things here real fast. So let's see here. We're moving northeast at 26. So let's hop over here on radar Omega, and we'll do a storm track here northeast at about 26 miles an hour. So let's make that happen, and we'll take this thing out at 26. And we've got, looks like we've got Churchill there, Liberty, and a lot of kind of some rural areas of Rusk County, which are going to be affected by this thing. So if we're running out of Henderson there is just not a whole lot of organized communities out there besides Churchill and Liberty. So if you've got folks in any of these areas, and they may or may not be apprised of what's going on with this, I encourage you to give them a shout, maybe send them a text, or give them a phone call, just to be sure that they are in the loop on this. Again, this tornado warning just coming out here a few minutes ago. Some impressive looking rotation on the radar here when this thing was issued, And so that's what helped to bring about the warning itself. You're welcome, Teresa. Glad to help out. Good, Shelley. Glad you did that. Yeah, let your folks know. Anybody out here, again, we're talking along and north of Highway 79. This will be north of Chapman, or near, yeah, let's, for some reason, this thing is not wanting to populate. So let's go back over to the radar scope. Sounds like there's an additional warning coming out. Yeah, this thing is looking a bit more organized now. Looking at these winds in here, notice you got winds blowing 60 to, there's an 86 mile an hour pixel. Again, that's blowing in towards Shreveport, right next to these winds that are blowing out and away from that site. So this is the east of Henderson now, okay? So again, we've got the tornado watch box that is out until 6 o'clock. That's going to include all of this area here. All right, so we're going to watch this here for just a second, and then we're going to need to move over to the western counties of East Texas. We've got another tornado warning, which is just now coming out for Henderson County and Anderson County. But this thing here needs to be paid very close attention to. Again, now we're watching this thing at 1:50, tornado warning for Rusk County. This is just Rusk County only for now. We're east of Henderson on this, north of 79. And east of the city of Henderson proper. Confirmed tornado on the ground in New Prospect, Josh. Okay. All right. So we want to be in our safe place at this time. This area here are rural sections of Rusk County, east side of Henderson, north of Highway 79, and south of Highway, really along and south of Highway 43. Let's just say that, okay? But definitely something that seems to be spinning up pretty quick. All right, okay. Let's we've hit that for a second. Let's get back east and look at this storm that has prompted the tornado warning. This may be the same thing that was prompting the warning down near Mahia earlier on that we were talking about. So we will take a look at that one real fast and try to cover the bases as best we can. All right, so we get back on the Fort Worth radar, pull in here. Let's look at some velocity numbers real quick. And I bet you they are looking at this little thing. They're looking at this thing right here on the west side of I-45, I'm betting. So it's going to be right in here. This is not yet into Henderson County or Anderson County. This thing is still over. I think that's Freestone County. So just FYI, this thing is moving northeast at probably about 30 to 40 miles an hour. Let's see what they say on that. So they're going northeast at 40. So yeah, so this will be a tornado warning till 2:30. This will be for extreme south and western Henderson County and extreme northwestern Anderson County. Okay. And that'll run until 2:30 for a tornado, a storm capable of producing a tornado. Nothing confirmed yet, at least based off of that. But we do have this thing which is trying to spin itself up. So that's outside of our area. But folks, Athens, Cayuga, you guys in that northwestern pocket of Anderson County, be mindful of this, as well as our friends down near Malakoff, south and west of Malakoff, southwest of Athens, in that pocket of extreme southwestern Henderson County. Okay. All right. We'll move back over towards the tornado that we've watching, the warning that we're watching, I should say, and that will require us to get back on the Shreveport radar. So we'll do that. And we hop it back in here again. We're still along and south of Highway 43 and along and north of Highway 79. Velocity is our friend today. So let's get back in and pull this guy in. So we've got the wind product on the right-hand side of the screen. We've got the regular, what we call reflectivity on the left-hand side. This is what you look at. The reflectivity is what you normally look at on your radar when you're scanning around and using your app on your phone. Most people just kind of default to this. So where is the rotation? Well, there it is. There it is, right in here, just south of Highway 43. A good ways north of 79 now. Again, as we talked about here a few minutes ago, that's taking you into some pretty rural sections of Rusk County. East of Henderson, you got Church Hill out there. This will be heading probably towards Martin Creek. So just a lot of, like I said, a lot of rural real estate out there. Let's see here. Kelly, I'll give you an update on Athens in just 1 second, all right? So, yeah, again, the area of greatest concern right now in Rusk County is going to be northeast of Henderson. If you've got folks there at the Martin Creek area, give them a heads up on this thing, head in that direction, all right? If you're in Henderson, you're fine. This has gone off to your east, and Henderson was never really in the polygon to begin with. But when folks think of Rusk County, they think of Henderson, so that's why we feel the need to give you that additional disclaimer, I guess you should say. But some pretty good wind in this thing. It seems to be ramping up as far as the rotation goes, and the wind production potential, ramping itself up pretty well. So that is something that we want to pay close attention to. All right, the Weather Service is saying they do have a confirmed tornado now on the ground. Thanks for that, David. This will be along Highway 43. We were talking about 43 a while ago. So they do have the confirmed tornado apparently on the ground there. It'll be near Church Hill, where we were talking about earlier. Again, a lot of rural areas here. But let's pull back up on Radar Omega and look at a few other products while this thing starts to fire itself back up. So again, safe spot, lowest floor of the building or the structure that you are in. If you are in the path of this thing, we'll say there's a Church Hill. This will all start to populate here just in a second. So let's pull this up and get this polygon back up here for us. So there's our closer inspection. We'll have this just north of Church Hill. Again, here's Highway 43 right here. This is going to be just right along Highway 43, moving off to the northeast at about 30 or so miles an hour. So it's going to take it near Durgan, and you see the Martin Creek Lake area further downstream of this. All right. So when we're talking about these kinds of things, let's take a second and see if we can review a couple of things real fast. All right. First off, centermost part of the structure that you're in, you want to be on the lowest floor of the building. We don't want upstairs. We want downstairs if you've got an option. Okay. Small interior rooms or closets are best. We want to get as far into the house as we can. So the danger's on the outside. So that's why we say center part of the house. But again, closets are nice, a little bit more reinforcement in there. The bathtubs are great. Get yourself a heavy blanket and throw that over yourself. Hop in the bathtub. When you hop into that bathtub, you've got walls on all four sides of you, so it gives you a little bit of extra protection from any kind of flying debris. And obviously the blanket, something heavy to give you that little bit of extra shielding if you can. And or if you can get a mattress and throw that over the top of you, that's all the better. But mattresses can be pretty darn heavy, so we understand that can potentially be a problem. I'd rather you just get in the tub with a heavy comforter as opposed to getting yourself hurt with that mattress trying to get it in when time is wasting. Avoid windows, obviously, as well. The weakest part of any structure is going to be that window or those windows. We'll want to avoid large rooms like gymnasiums, cafeterias, things like that have a higher ceiling with them. And there's just more space for something to fail and potential for a problem. So that's why we like those smaller interior rooms versus the large open rooms like gyms that have high ceilings on them, things like that. We don't want to seek shelter under an overpass, obviously. Okay, that is something that people can be mistaken in trying to move under an underpass, thinking they're putting themselves in a safe spot. They're actually putting themselves in a worse spot because of the way the wind tends to want to funnel underneath those things. Vehicles are not a good option, and so we want to also avoid mobile homes due to the fact that those things can be blown around quite easily. It takes a low-end tornado to do some significant damage to those things. Even if you got tie downs on it, we want to avoid those and get into something that's a little bit more sturdily built. Something on a site-built type structure is best. Shoes and or helmets. We always want our shoes on. Helmets, if you got them, bike helmets, things like that. A lot of folks have those these days. Get that on the kids. And be sure you've got closed-toed shoes as well. We don't want flip-flops, open-toed stuff. That's not going to give us much protection if we're having to trudge through an area where we've got broken glass and things like that. Okay, so back into the radar real fast. Again, the tornado warning runs here for another few more minutes for north and western really parts of Rusk County now. Looks like the rotation is there near Liberty, or just north of Liberty. I would say just right there along Highway 43, maybe just a tad north of Liberty right now. Still presents pretty well on the radar as far as being capable of producing something. So we want to be mindful of that. Looks like Weather Service they are definitely looking at this thing as a confirmed tornado. They've got damage and debris, it looks like, in the Churchill area. Debris falling west of Churchill was said here earlier on. So we want to take this extremely seriously. And for those folks who are downstream, especially at Martin Creek area, Durgin, those folks along Highway 43 heading up towards Tatum, I want you to be in that safe spot right now and understand that we do have something that is confirmed. And the Weather Service is issuing that warning, I believe, right now for Panola County. Stand by. All right, so they're going to go ahead and issue further downstream for that tornado warning. So this will be another warning further to the east. That's going to include folks in, looks like northwestern Panola County, and they'll include east central Rusk County in there. That goes till 2:30. That storm capable and actually producing a tornado, so it is confirmed. Let's see here, located 8 miles southwest of Tatum. And it's moving east at about 30 miles an hour. So we have seen the debris signature here a few minutes back. So we want to take this. We want to take this with as much seriousness as we can. So if you're with us in that northeastern part of Rusk County, we need to be in that safe spot. If you are with us downstream in Panola County, including folks from, we'll say, just south of Tatum. Looks like this thing, 43, kind of arcs a little bit more northeast, and this storm is going a little more east-northeast, so not quite running right along 43 at this point. But it looks like the polygon from the Weather Service is going to take the storm just to the south of downtown Tatum. But again, we do have something that has been confirmed, something that has produced some damage, and they have seen some debris which has been dropping or was dropping here just a few minutes ago across that piece of Rusk County. So as we sit at 2:04 now, the new warning running for that part of Panola County from the county line back pretty much across almost to Interstate 59. So this is going to be again north of Carthage, well north of Carthage, by the way. The velocity product shows this pretty well. It helps to make it a little easier to identify where the greatest area of concern is going to be at, and that's going to be for this area right here near Liberty, Durgin. There's Martin Creek Lake, south and west side or southwest of Tatum at the moment. So if we're just hopping in, it's 2:05. We came back in here because of the tornado warning, which was issued. Now, this is all very much west of the city of Henderson, but it has produced some damage, it looks like, east of Henderson along its path. Weather Service is trying to figure out if it has lifted potentially, but that is something that has yet to be, I think, confirmed. A lot of trees. It's tough to chase these things in this part of the county. Fortunately, they've got a highway nearby, which will give you at least a route to get close to it. But in this rain, with as much moisture as we've got, it's going to be it can be difficult even at that to see exactly what's going on when you've got as much tree cover as they do to try to navigate around. So it looks like we've got some really strong wind in here near that Durgin community. All right, about to get over into Panola County. All right, so we'll hit a couple of these small communities here. There's obviously Martin Creek, which is going to be an area that we want to pay especially close attention to. Weather Service continues to trim the warning further back away. They're trimming it as this thing moves northeast. So let's put some additional points of reference on here. Here's Highway 79. So this thing is well north of 79, along Highway 43. It looks like along or south of Highway 43. And a movement on this has been They're calling it east 30. So we will do a quick track east at 30 from right here. And that gets it to Beckville. It's just to Beckville here in about 15 minutes or so. We'll just call it that, just to be on the safe side. Otherwise, you got Martin Creek Lake, and then a lot of rural sections of Panola County. But we will call it Beckville here in about 15 minutes if the storm continues on its current path, which it should. And it also looks like it's continuing to try to cycle back up, just looking at what I can see of the velocity product there. So if you've got family, friends near Martin Creek Lake, especially north of Beckville, let's get them in the loop on what's going on. If you can, need to send them a text or give them a phone call. It'd probably be preferable. Anybody who may work nights and sleeps during the day, if they're working third shift, they need to be up and aware that this is going on. We do have the tornado watch box out officially until 6 o'clock, but the tornado warning will run here for another few minutes. That will expire here at approximately 2:30. With, again, this is a confirmed tornado earlier at least, and we were trying to figure out, Weather Service was trying to figure out if the thing had actually cycled and lifted. But based on what I'm seeing with the radar here, it is in an especially good. It looks like it's got especially good structure to produce, given the wind couplet that we're seeing there in that what we call gate-to-gate shear right there near Martin Creek Lake. All right. So the concern for the moment is going to be highest there near Martin Creek Lake. Tyler, Misty, Tyler's A-OK for now. We do have some additional rain, though, that is moving into the Smith County area right now. Looks like the Weather Service has gone ahead and canceled that tornado warning, which they had included initially southwestern Henderson County and northeastern Anderson County. So that's good there. The only thing we have as far as a tornado warning is concerned is going to be this guy right here. So we're going to focus on that. But again, real fast, let me do this though first. So here's radar showing the rainfall and some more robust looking thunderstorms moving back into western Smith County here and northeastern Smith County, kind of arcing from northeast to southwest. So we got some hefty rainfall there near noonday, some pretty good lightning production in that. Nothing severe there, but you are going to hear some thunder rumbling in Tyler. I'm hearing, I think that's what I'm hearing on the south side of town here right now. So do be mindful of that. But nothing severe in the Tyler area for the moment. Tornado watch, though, is continuing until 6 o'clock. All right, back on the storm that we're watching. Here's Carthage. Give you some points of reference real fast. There's Carthage to the southwest or southeast of this. The storm is most likely, as far as populated areas, we're talking about, first off, the Martin Creek Lake area and Beckville, Harris, Chapel, Tatum. This will pass just south of Tatum, it looks like. So that's the kind of the general overall feel for this. We have had an observed tornado earlier on, had some debris that was falling back just east of Henderson here a little bit earlier as well, that was seen by a storm chaser out of Rusk County. So that is something that makes us pay especially close attention when we are when we're in a situation like this. So we'll get in here, see if we notice anything on the correlation of some of these Doppler dual pole products, which we don't talk an awful lot about. Looking for anything that doesn't necessarily correlate to a raindrop or a hailstone. And in those cases, that tells us that it could be a tree, part of it, some bark, or some wood from a house, or a shingle, or something metal, anything that doesn't correlate to a raindrop or a hailstone. We look at this correlation coefficient product, which is on the bottom. I'm looking at this bottom left box that you see there on the screen, trying to see if I can notice anything that doesn't necessarily correlate. And I'm not seeing anything that stands out. There is something potentially a little bit lower value there, due south, a little southwest to Tatum, which would mark pretty well, would line up pretty well with what we could be dealing with. But it's hard to know. You look for a lower value normally than this to give you something definitive. But the service is issuing another product right now, so it's probably severe thunderstorm. All right, so they're going to go with a flash flood warning for central Smith County because of the heavy rain that's moving in. So again, that's going to be flash flood warning for central Smith County. They're going to run that back up to the northeast through Wood County. So that flash flood warning is going to be coming out for Smith County, but that will take lower priority right now over this thing near Tatum. All right, so we are at 2:15. Tornado warning continuing for Panola County. We've pulled Henderson or Rusk County completely out of this. So we're leaving the biggest of the concern between Beckville and just south of Tatum. So 149 kind of going northwest to southeast there. So this thing is really close on the south side of Tatum right now. If you're on the south side of Tatum, you need to be in your safe spot at this point. Weather Service says they are seeing some signs of debris being lofted between Beckville and Tatum, which lines up with where we were talking about here. So again, along Highway 149, if you're on 149, especially on the west side of 149 south of Tatum, you need to be in your safe spot right now. And if you are on the east side of 149, you need to be getting to your safe spot as we speak right now. Okay. We have a confirmed tornado based on the fact that we're seeing debris being lofted. If that is going on, that means something is on the ground. That stuff's not going to be up in the air without something to propel it. And so when we see that type of thing, we need to be ready to take those immediate tornado precautions. Okay, and if you're just now hopping on, possibly you're in this area, let's go over those once again. All right, lowest centermost part of the structure that you're in. We want to be on the lowest floor of that building. We don't like upstairs. We like downstairs, closer to the foundation, stronger, more reinforced part of the building. We want to have a small interior room is best. Closets are great, especially closets that have a lot of nice jackets and clothes kind of hanging there. Gives you some additional good cushion and protection. We like bathtubs. We like grabbing a blanket if you can, and a heavy one at that, and throw that over the top of you, hop in the bathtub. You got 4 walls there on all sides of you. It'd give you a little bit of extra protection from any kind of flying debris. We like to avoid windows. As we talk about, the window is the weakest part of the structure that you're in by a long shot. Okay. Avoid large open rooms. We got a lot of kids in school still right now, with us being about a little under an hour away from 3:15. So let's keep that in mind and avoid those large gymnasiums, auditoriums, things like that. We don't want to seek shelter under a bridge, under an overpass. Not a good spot to be in. Probably a more dangerous spot to be in if you think about the wind and how that tends to funnel itself underneath those overpasses, put yourself in even stronger winds than you would be oftentimes on the outside, away from that enclosed space. Just think about when you're outside in the yard in the summertime and you put your thumb over the edge of the water hose as the water's going out. As you constrict that space, it's going to make the water move faster than it would if you had your finger off of that. And the same kind of principle applies when you're starting to funnel air underneath a closed space like a bridge or an overpass. All right. Vehicles are not a good option. We want to evacuate mobile homes, put ourselves into an area where we've got a little bit more sturdy connection to the ground. Mobile homes can be rolled in very weak tornadoes, and if not, experience significant damage in those that are weak and especially stronger. Shoes and helmets are good, obviously, as well. We don't want open-toed shoes in a situation like this. We want closed-toed shoes. Helmets are great. If you got a bike helmet, something along those lines that helps to give you a little bit more protection on your noggin, okay? All right. Now that we've said that, we'll get back into this. This thing producing still an awful lot of inbound wind. The shear on it doesn't look quite as strong as it did here a second ago, just as far as the wind goes, and the winds just immediately adjacent to each other. What if you're caught in a tornado while you're on the road, Aaron? If you're on the road, I would recommend you could look to a ditch, some kind of a low spot, get down in that culvert or ditch. If you can tell the direction that the tornado was going, then, head in that opposite direction. Obviously we want to just kind of be aware and of our surroundings, where we are in relation to the storm, and take the action to move yourself away from it. This thing is going to be moving from west to east. So important to know where you are in relation to the storm and where the storm is headed at all times. Okay. So let's see here. I'm going to look real quick at the chat and see what the Weather Service is looking at. Yeah, so we've got reports of damage northeast of Henderson from earlier. So that is something that we're seeing from the emergency management folks right now. It's 2:22. The tornado warning continuing for Rusk County. This will be south of Tatum, just Beckville. You got a lot of good wind in there right now, if nothing else. But I think the rotation is going to be just north of Beckville. Right there, right now, at least, along Highway 159, or 149, rather. And then just like that, it looks to have broadened out a little bit more, or increased in overall coverage. Winds in here, again, these are estimates of, 60 to, I would expect on the ground. What's transporting down to the ground could be 60, could be 65, maybe some 70-mile-an-hour winds potentially in there, east of Highway 149 right now. But again, if you've got folks who are north of Beckville, anyone who potentially does the overnight shift and sleeps during the day, or something of that nature that might be a little bit unplugged from the goings on, get in touch with those people if you can, and let's be sure that everyone is up to speed on what we're dealing with here. So this is all happening well to the north of Carthage, and if this storm continues on its current path, we're going to throw it over into extreme southern Harrison County here in the next 30 minutes or so. So if you're due south of Marshall along 59, this thing is headed towards Highway 59 corridor as we speak, right there at the Panola and Harrison County line. That's something that is, let's see how far we are from that actually while we have a second. So we'll just, I think the center of this circulation is probably somewhere in here. So we're about 5 miles or so west of Highway 59 right now. In addition to this tornado warning, we've got the heavy rainfall, which is into Smith County now. Weather Service did go with a flash flood warning for Smith County, as well as so that's pretty much northern half of Smith County, northern Smith County, and south western Upshur County, southeastern Wood County. That'll run until, let's see here what the time is on that. I think it's 6 o'clock, 5:15 till 5:15. So Central Smith, Upshur, and Southeastern Wood County until 5:15 for the flash flood warning. So that is something we want to be aware of as well. Remember, we talked last hour when we were on here about the storms and the showers that seem to kind of be more or less firing at will back to the south of us. So that's what we're seeing now coming through the city of Tyler after somewhat of a respite here. But back into this tornado warned storm south of Tatum. So we've gotten all of this east of Beckville now, northeast of Beckville, coming up on the Highway 59 corridor right now. Doesn't look like the rotation is quite as impressive. The wind is still there, but the rotational component doesn't look as strong as it did just a few scans ago. We're seeing still a lot of inbound wind towards Shreveport, but not as much in the way of strong outbound winds like we would see most of the time. So yeah, the Weather Service is saying the same thing. They don't see as much rotation in this thing either, which is good. That lines up with what we were talking about. So I'm encouraged by that. But the warning, nonetheless, is still in place. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and they just extended that warning further to the east. As you saw that red box pop up. So they're going to go ahead and extend that further downstream. And that will be until about 3 o'clock. So they're going to go tornado warning for northeastern Panola County Storm capable of a tornado near Beckfuller, 9 miles northwest of Carthage, moving east at 30. A lot of rural real estate, this part of Panola County. Okay, so let's we're gonna take a minute from that and head back down to the south here, and we're gonna get into southern Rusk County. Weather Service has now issued a tornado warning for this storm, which has, according to the police department, has put a tornado on the ground near Mount Enterprise. So we'll see tornado warning southwestern Panola, southeastern Rusk County until 3:15. A storm capable of producing a tornado near Minden or 13 miles southeast of Henderson, moving east at 20. But as I said, Weather Service saying they had a confirmed tornado according to the police department on the ground there near 1798. It looks like we may have some debris being lofted there with that storm as well. This is north of Mount Enterprise. So here's Highway 315 running north out of Mount Enterprise, kind of arcs back to the northeast. You can see that you can see why they would be concerned with it, but then having the report from the PD would help to add some additional validity to that. So we're at 2:30 now. New tornado warning for southern Rusk County. This will be north of Mount Enterprise. This storm is going to be tracking to the east. Going east at about 20 miles an hour. So quite a bit to keep the eye on here. You can kind of see how this thing is. You can see how this thing is kind of wrapped up. Right there. Yep. That's exactly it. Kind of that kidney bean shape there. There's a mesocyclone that's just rotating counterclockwise, and so the radar shows that rotation. How that there's a little notch on the south end there. Doesn't look quite as pronounced as it did maybe a scan or two ago. Maybe recycling itself. Hard to know. Unless you got eyes on it, it's impossible to know. So again, that's a new tornado warning. This thing, whatever is there, is going to be right along 315 north of Mount Enterprise right now, moving east at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. So a lot of rural real estate over in this part of the county, just about to get over into southwestern Panola County. Got the Atoyac Bayou out there south of 315. Yeah, there's some debris, I think, right in here, north, just east of 315. Some of these lower values here down in the 0.8 range. That lines up with what you would expect to see. Again, when we're looking at this correlation coefficient I'm looking at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. I've broken it up into quarters here. But what we're looking at here, we're looking for something that doesn't correspond to a rain drop or a hailstone, something liquid like that. And if it doesn't correlate to that, then the radar indicates that, and then from that we could infer that it could be any number of things, not hydro in nature, like a shingle or a board or some glass, anything like that. So if it doesn't correlate to what we normally will see, it will give it a lower value, and that can be a trigger or an indicator that we have something in the way of debris that this radar beam is seeing. So we do have that debris signature there north of Mount Enterprise now, along and just east side of 315, heading out away from Mount Enterprise, but gives additional confirmation to the fact that we do have something, or have had something, that was producing a tornado here in the last little bit. So we've got that one going on. We've got this additional tornado warned storm, which does not look as organized as it did here a few minutes ago. Continues moving away from Beckville over that kind of that rural section of Panola County. This is going to be along and just east of Highway 79, or it'll be east of 79. Let's just say that. So we've got this one, the tornado warning, Panola County. This one, tornado warning for extreme southeastern Rusk County, extreme southwestern Panola County. Looks like this thing is right along, whatever is there is right along the Panola Rusk County line right now to me. So we've got that, and then Weather Service in Fort Worth has issued another severe thunderstorm warning that's going to run. We'll pull this up here. So that's going to affect folks in Anderson County, extreme southern Henderson County. So they'll put this one out for 60 mile an hour winds and quarter-sized hail potentially, but the wind probably the more likely piece of it. East Central Freestone, southeastern Henderson, Anderson County till 3. Storm capable of producing a tornado, or capable of producing severe thunderstorms along a line from near Frankston to 9 miles east of Fairfield Lake, moving east at 45. So that'll be for this section right in here, especially. All right. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's going to run right across Cherokee County if it holds itself together. Again, that's severe thunderstorm warning only right now. Flash flood warning for northwestern half of Smith County, including Tyler, the city of Lindale, back up to just north of Gilmer. And then the tornado warnings, there's two of them. Both include parts of Panola County. So we get back in here on this. The southern storm, North Mount Enterprise. So that looks... You can kind of make this out here. Yeah, that lines up. This appendage here on the reflectivity lines up pretty well with what you're seeing over here on the velocity product as well. So we'll see how that continues to run along. So that warning for southwestern Panola County and this warning for northeastern Panola County. This one does not look as organized as it did earlier. See those brighter colors, brighter blue. Notice how it seems to have maybe cycled out a little bit. So that's something to be aware of, but we still want to give it plenty of distance and or maintain our tornado precautions east of Highway 79, north of Carthage. Yeah, that's right, 59, 79 split there. So we're west of 79. I'm sorry, west of 79, north of Carthage here. If there is something there, it's going to be probably in this area right here. It's just my gut on it. Weather Services seems like they're seeing the same thing I am. They said that rotation seems to have dissipated quite a bit, which is what we were just talking about. So that's good. They're going to let the tornado warning go until its expiration time, which, let's see. So they're going to let that thing run until, I guess, 3 o'clock. Yeah, they'll let that run officially until 3. If it continues to fall apart, they might pull it earlier, but they're going to hedge on that side of things for now. So that's good news there. And then this other one down further south continues to look pretty disorganized. Thanks, Autumn, for that. A lot of wind and a lot of rain there in Natchez. Okay. So the good news is this stuff does not look as organized as it did here of about 15 or 20 minutes ago. We still have the warnings in place though, and we'll hold on to those until they are either canceled or allowed to expire. The tornado warning for this piece of Panola County doesn't officially expire until about 3:15. It looks like, based on what I'm seeing here, but there is still some good rotation in there, or there's still at least some broad rotation in there. I'll say that. Just looking at the reflectivity product. So that's good news there. Looks like Weather Service is starting to trim the tornado watch box out for some counties, which is not surprising, probably on the western side. Yeah, so they've canceled Hopkins, Rains, Van Zandt, and Anderson County. I'm sorry, they've canceled Hopkins and Rains and Van Zandt County. They're going to continue with Anderson County on that tornado watch until 6 officially, but that'll be cleared out long before 6 o'clock, I would think. So we're just going to kind of graze here for a little bit and see what produces from these two storms over, both of them affecting Panola County, although this northern storm is right there kind of hugging the Panola and Harrison County line. Weather Service has gone ahead and they have just canceled this Northeastern Panola County tornado warning. So they are pulling that as we speak. There goes the polygon. So that leaves us with this one storm that we can focus on. James, where are you seeing that at, man? Are you seeing that report from somewhere? Thanks for anything you can provide on that. All right, Weather Service is now going to go ahead and cancel that tornado warning for southwestern Panola County and southeastern Rusk County, it looks like, as well. But that is something we need to keep an eye on right there. Yeah, James, if you have any, if you can give me any details on what you're talking about there, like Merval, I'd appreciate that, man. Just going to keep an eye on this area southwest of Gary. This will be due south of Clayton, Buncombe, Daniels, FM 999 there. I'm just going to kind of hang here for a minute and see what we have that potentially comes back up. We'll pull the tornado warning bug out and put this tornado watch bug back in. So we like having that. Looks like the best thunder is still some pretty good thunderstorm activity there over Tyler, especially southeast of town, White House. Yeah, Amber, I bet it has. A lot of wind and rain there, Mount Selman, right now. That is not surprising. Nothing severe in your area at the moment. Although that wind in there's right there west side of 69 could be 40 to 50 miles an hour at least. Yeah, we want to keep an eye on this area just north of FM 999, southwest of Carthage. Farm to Market 10 goes south out of Carthage. So this will be west of FM 10. And there's Buncombe. I'm not sure what's going on down there, but no warnings have been issued, but it looks a little suspicious. So at the moment, we're tornado warning free at the moment officially. We do have severe thunderstorm warning, which is going to butt up right for the stuff that is coming out of Anderson County. It is Weather Service has not issued anything further downstream for Cherokee County, but the warning that Fort Worth had initially issued expires officially at 2 o'clock, or at 3 o'clock rather. So they issued a warning for some quarter-sized hail and some 60-mile-an-hour winds. But that stuff has, the bulk of it has since eased over into Cherokee County there near Jacksonville, Mount Salmon. Folks talking about how much wind and rain they've got going on in Mount Salmon. Amber was talking about that here a second ago. Still some pretty hefty rainfall there, Palestine area right now. Couple of flash flood warnings. You can see those highlighted in green, or those outlined in green, I should say. Flash flood warning for Smith County, as well as most of Upshur County, southeastern Wood County, and that goes until let's see, for another 140 minutes. So let me just take the guesswork. Yeah, till 5:15. Still a good amount of lightning going on in Smith County. A lot of lightning going on in Panola County, northeastern Rusk County, southeastern Rusk County. Yeah, hats off to the teachers at 2:56 in this kind of rain. It's going to be a messy pickup for the folks in line at schools right now. I saw somewhere earlier where a couple of days ago it was raining, and one of the local fire departments came out and helped unload kids out of the cars, which I thought was kind of cool. I can't remember where that was, but it was somewhere around here, which I thought it was a nice thing for them to do. Good for the kids to get to meet the firefighters, too. So, again, we're tornado warning free at this point. And we're almost to 3 o'clock. I'll make a couple more passes back in here. Don't see as much going on here now. Something to keep the eye on right here, but some really broad just on the southwest side of Carthage. There's 59, 79 north of Carthage. If we're just looking at it, you can make out a little notch there. See how that just little thing poking out there south of Carthage. See how we've got the winds blowing outbound and then correspondingly blowing back in towards the Shreveport side. So that's what I'm keying on right now. Looks like we do have some injuries back in the Mount Enterprise area from earlier. And that is something they are working right now in southern Rusk County from that tornado earlier. So that is very unfortunate. That'll be something that we learn more about as the afternoon progresses. All right, here's a new severe thunderstorm warning that the Weather Service is going to put out. That's going to cover Cherokee County. This will be southwestern Rusk. They're going to include Nacogdoches, northern Cherokee County until 4 o'clock. So we got an hour on that one. So that polygon should come up here in a second. This is the same storm that prompted the warnings further back upstream in Anderson County. So we were talking about that here a few minutes ago. There it goes. So this will be an hour-long warning. Southwestern Rusk, northwestern Nacogdoches, northern Cherokee County till 4 o'clock. 60-mile-an-hour winds and half-dollar size hail potentially in that. And again, in this kind of an environment, it's not out of the question that we have, these little small tornado spin-ups potentially in there. So that's something that we're also going to be just mindful of. Tornado watch goes again until 6 o'clock. So this, again, severe thunderstorm warning, Cherokee County, southwestern Rusk County, extreme northwestern Nacogdoches County. And that'll run until 4 o'clock. I don't see anything crazy, spooky on the velocity product at the moment. So that's good. The more likely scenario will be for some strong straight line winds, 55 to 60 miles an hour. Again, minimal severe weather criteria is 60 miles an hour. But it also appears as if there's the potential for about half-dollar sized hail out of this thing. So that'll be from Jacksonville back to just south of Rusk along 69. There's 84 coming out of Mount Enterprise through Reclaw down to Rusk. Strongest of this stuff right now, hey Gary, strongest of this stuff is just west of Rusk. Just getting into Gallatin now, up to New Summerfield, and we'll run the radar loop just to show you what that looks like. And just like that, Weather Service is going ahead with a flash flood warning that's going to cover a number of counties as well. So we'll talk about that here just in a second. The severe thunderstorm warning, the more imminent concern right now, Jacksonville back down to Rusk, over to Reclaw. That's going to include Mount Enterprise as well. We did, again, have some reports of some injuries in the Mount Enterprise area from this tornado, which came out of there earlier after it initially developed. But this new severe thunderstorm warning will include Mount Enterprise. It will not include the city of Henderson, at least downtown Henderson. Looks like it's going to just cut just south of downtown Henderson based on the polygon there. You can also make out a kind of a green, a little green outline here. That's for a flash flood warning, which was just issued. That's going to run for about 3 hours. That'll include pretty much northeastern Cherokee, southern Gregg, western Panola, central Rusk and southeastern Smith County. So that'll be just south of Troop and Arp, just that kind of that extreme southern part of the county. I'm sorry, correction. That'll include just south of Tyler. I wasn't reading that box correctly. So we've got a separate flash flood warning for Tyler proper, and then this flash flood warning, which will include, that extreme southeastern piece of Smith County, but not by much. The flash flood warning for Cherokee County will not include Jacksonville. It does include folks Gallatin back up northeast through Henderson and on up to, we'll call it Tatum. Tornado sirens going off in Elkhart, Shauna. Okay, thank you for that. All right, so Weather Service is just gone with a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
So that'll run for Carthage. That's for this storm down here just north of Gary City, between Gary City and Carthage. That's going northeast. And they are seeing some broad rotation with that, which I would say so. See if I can position that where you can see it. So again, we're looking at some broad rotation down, just really on the south side of the city of Carthage, and that all jives with what you can kind of make out here. Yeah, that all makes sense, whether you're looking at it on the regular reflectivity or on the velocity product. It all seems to jive. So that makes a lot of sense. So they're going to play it on the cautious side and see how it transpires. A lot of lightning in there too, for sure. So we go from practically no warnings to quite a few warnings. Fortunately, none tornadic. Still pretty quiet in Nacogdoches, Center, St. Augustine, Hemphill, Lufkin, but stuff's on the way. Just takes a bit of time to get there. There's that unfortunate report of the injuries there, Whispering Pines RV Park, just north of Mount Enterprise. That just coming in here just a little bit ago. So we pray for those folks and just hate to hear that. Another local storm report. Okay. I'll talk more about that here just in a second.
Tornado warning.
All right, so the new tornado warning, Weather Service is going to go ahead, it looks like, with that one for the storm we were talking about here a second ago, south of Carthage. I don't know if they're seeing something some kind of a debris signature, or somebody saw something down there. This still looks pretty broad, but all right, so they're going to go ahead and did do that warning south of Carthage. So this is going to be along Highway 70, Highway 59 rather, as you get south of Carthage, is where this best rotation is currently sitting at, and that will take it off to the northeast at probably 35 to 40 miles an hour. Okay, 30 miles an hour. So we're going to severe thunderstorm capable of a tornado located near Carthage, moving northeast at 30. So that's a tornado warning for southeastern Panola County. So put some additional towns and points of reference on this. All right. You bet, Rosemary. Thank you. Yeah, trying to use those, Jesse. I've had them, but I forget to use them sometimes. So it's a nice way to kind of reset and emphasize something new there. So I am thinking on this. Let's just do this. And I think we were running. Let's just say northeast at 30. So we'll draw a track here. So a lot of rural sections here of Panola County on this tornado warning polygon. So we're along 79 and just south of 79, east side of Carthage. So folks, Antioch area, Pleasant Ridge, and points back northeast from there. Weather Service saying capable of a tornado. I haven't seen anything indicating that something has been observed. If you remember a few minutes ago, we were talking about how that looked a little bit interesting down there before they issued that warning. So I can't say that I'm surprised to see that come out. Up to 1.34 inch of rain, by the way, in Tyler. You can kind of make out a little bit right there where there's kind of a little notch. Right there near Antioch. If there's something there. So as we continue to kind of watch this thing move across, nothing definitive on the radar or from any observing points of anything actually on the ground. We do have the severe thunderstorm warnings, though, which are back and affecting really the strongest of the storms now, eastern Cherokee County. This stuff will ease over into southwestern Rusk County and will clip extreme northwestern Nacogdoches County back near Cushing. So this will be well north of Nacogdoches proper, at least as far as the city is concerned. But it will be followed up by some stronger storms down near Crockett over to Kennard. So all of that is moving northeast and seems to be blossoming as it's doing so. And again, this air down south into northern Nacogdoches County has not really been worked over much today. So that would tend to, and with the time of day, I mean 3:15 in the afternoon practically, you would expect that would be a little bit more, have a little bit more juice to work with as we work in this thing during the daytime versus working on this stuff overnight when we don't have as much heating to work with. Yeah, Gail, I was afraid you were going to say that. Overton is getting a another good dose of rain right now. Overton is included in the flash flood warning that goes here for several hours. So we've got southeastern Smith and northwestern Smith County both involved in flash flood warnings. Henderson's in that flash flood warning also. Still not seeing anything being reported down south of Carthage from this tornado warning storm, but boy, it sure does look like it's trying to wrap up, man. There's a lot of rotation down there. Clear that out. It is a heck of a mesocyclone with that storm. So even if there's nothing on the ground, It's not because the thing isn't organized. I'll just say that. If we have anybody down there east of Carthage, southeast of Carthage, I'd love to know what you're seeing. If you can see it safely. So we're east of, is that 69 or 59? Yeah. East of 59. I am really curious as to what's going on down there. See it rotating? Move this up a little bit. Yeah, man, that sucker is just a spinning. Whew. Thanks, Jackie. So you're in Gary, really still. I'm not surprised. If you have anybody further north, I'd love to know what they're seeing. I think so would the Weather Service for that matter. So, yeah, I agree, Jesse. See if I can increase these frames so that we can look at this thing a little bit longer. This is a 20 frame. Good grief. It's just because it looks like that doesn't mean it's producing, but it sure is a good sign that there's potential there. East of Carthage. Man, oh man. All right, back west. Heavy rainfall there from Henderson back to Rusk, and then down to just south of Alto. All right, so the Weather Service in Houston is going with new severe thunderstorm warnings. We haven't talked much about the Houston office this afternoon, but they are getting in the game now on some storms. So let's talk to our neighbors in Houston County real fast. We'll look at the GRK radar and see what that has for us. And it shows to potentially be down. That's never good. Let's go to Houston instead. All right. So here's the storm which prompted the severe thunderstorm warning for Houston County, and that's going to run for about 20 minutes. Central Houston County and Walker County till 3:45, 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Storm near 7 southwest of Morill or 17 south of Rusk, moving northeast at 35. So that will be okay, Jackie. Good to know that the folks at Gary School are going to hold the buses and keep the kids in the hall. I don't blame them for that. We'll get that out of there before we let them out. So a couple severe thunderstorm warnings now down southwest of us. Houston County is about as far southwest as I tend to go after the years of having them in at all the TV stations that I worked at. Usually that's about as far southwest as we go. It's kind of in the Houston television market, but we still would cover that. I know we have quite a few folks down there who watch, so appreciate that very much. So some quarter-sized hail, best hail potential going to be southwest of Alto, and then some additional potential for some hail just probably near Crockett, northeast of Crockett along 21. That's a pretty storied highway now after the Alto tornado of a number of years ago went right along Highway 21. So anytime I see that highway, that's kind of what I think back on. But the better hail production looks to be actually over into southwestern Cherokee County versus in Houston County proper. But nonetheless, the warning is out for this area, and they are going to do that for about another 18 minutes for the potential of at least 60-mile-an-hour winds and some quarter-sized hail. So folks in Houston County, be mindful of that, and also be aware that you've got more reinforcements coming up out of the southwest, crossing I-45 south of Centerville near Madisonville, and now getting up towards Midway, and then that storm down there, North Zulch, is producing a lot of lightning and probably some hefty winds in there as well. I know the radar's showing a lot of rain, so that's some additional stuff that's going to be easing a little bit more towards Trinity, potentially towards western Trinity County and that southwestern Houston County area. So we'll be watching that here for the next little bit. Rain, rain, rain. We'll take it while we can get it. But these storms, again, will be easing over into Cherokee County here. So, folks, Alto, be mindful of that potential for a little bit of hail coming up out of your southwest in the not too distant future. All right. All right. So let's do this. Get back to Shreveport. That thing is still just a bumping along. I think Gary City kids are okay for now. Jackie, looks like this thing is getting a good ways east now. Yeah, Dustin, and it's a piece of it, piece of the complex. Hey, Joseph, thanks for watching from Latexo, man. So we'll watch this little thing down here. Yeah, I wouldn't. Thanks, Penny. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't like the looks of this thing right here. I don't like the looks of that near Gary City. I still don't like that. This thing's moving off to the northeast, and then this little appendage back here south, just on the west side of Gary City. Just not in this environment. Yeah, Jackie, I think that's I would be keeping a close eye on that right now, Jackie. Okay. I would. The reason why it's picking up, Jackie's at Gary School. The reason why that wind is picking up and the lightning is this thing coming back at you out of the southwest. It's a little hanging off the edge there. There's so much noise on the radar on the velocity product in here. I mean, just a lot going on there. Weather Service has gone ahead and let that tornado warning expire, looks like. Yeah, Weather Service has gone ahead and let that Panola County tornado warning expire. So that's good. We'll change the bug there. Brandy, New Summerfield. New Summerfield's looking A-OK right now. Just a lot of rain. Not as much rain as you had 20 minutes ago, but I think you're all right there right now. Strongest stuff is off to the south of you guys at this point. Jackie, let me know if you see anything down there in Gary, okay? So we're at 332. We've got a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings that we're just kind of watching. We'll pull this back up to full screen. So we got the severe thunderstorm warning for the storms that are crossing southern Rusk County, and they're out of Cherokee County at the moment. Thanks, Jackie. So again, the severe thunderstorm warning for Cherokee, or for extreme eastern Cherokee, but I mean that's actually the severe weather is all well east of there now. The only thing really looks like it's producing anything potentially severe in Rusk County is going to be far eastern part of the county, almost into Panola County for that matter. Some strong storms there coming up southwest, coming up from your southwest there in Alto. They're 69, not as strong as it was though here a few minutes ago, so that's good. But still a good bit of lightning in there. And Trinity County, or out of Houston County, I should say. Trinity County still pretty quiet. Overall, intensity on this stuff seems to have come down. So that's good. Weather Service still has that severe thunderstorm warning for Houston County, and that runs until, I think, 4 o'clock. So overall intensity on this stuff is seems to be coming down back to the west. So new severe thunderstorm warning now coming out for Houston County. But overall, here's a look at the last. Let's see here, since about 3 o'clock. So about the last 35 minutes or so, you can see kind of a general downtrend in the intensity of stuff for the most part, which is nice. Still producing some decent rainfall, central Smith County, but it looks like we're about done with the heaviest of the stuff. We're done with as far west as Canton to Athens to Cayuga. West of the east of there, you still got hefty rain, but west of there, it seems to be trimming down pretty quick. So that is good. Thanks, James, for that. Heavy rain and power is out in Wascom. Not surprised. You got a lot more rain where that came from, too, brother. Looks like Shreveport is under a severe thunderstorm warning for that complex coming out of Harrison County and Panola County. All right, so back into Panola County, where we've been for a good chunk of the day. Look at this Vils and see how that is, how old that is. Yeah, that's pretty old. Reflectivity. Vertical integrated liquid is something that we can look at if we're trying to pinpoint. If we're looking for what's the intensity of the storm generally doing, is it trending up, trending down? But Vils are awful good for hail potential, or showing where hail is going to be at. And these values are about 13 minutes old, but you can make out that 72 Ville there northeast of Carthage. A good indicator of some hail potential there. Weather Service was talking about that just a second ago. So, for whatever it's worth, if you got something that's out and exposed there between Carthage and the state line going northeast, south of 79, I'd want to get that covered up. It's probably already too late, unfortunately, based on the delay with this, but that is interesting to see. I haven't seen a ton of decent looking hail today. Yeah, Jackie, I believe that. You're in that little clear slot right now between you and the next round of rain. Had almost 2/10 there, Northeastern State Park. Thanks, Brother Harry. Appreciate that. Good to hear from you. Fixing to get wet in Nacogdoches, I'll tell you that. So you guys haven't seen much in Nacogdoches proper, but it's about to change. Nothing that strong, but I know you'll be glad to have the rain. So let's poke around real fast, see if anything's sticking out. If it is, it's going to be up here. Not really much going on there. So that's good. I like the looks of that. I like the fact that this is getting out of the state. Still a weird looking deal down here near Gary City. Just a lot of noise down there. It's been noisy all day right there. I don't know if that's enough to be an issue with the radar or what. So that is good news to see. Nothing that's really too alarming from a tornadic standpoint. All right, so we're running up on 342 and still just kind of grazing here. Want to give it a couple more minutes and then I'm going to step aside. So we're inch 39 here in Tyler right now for rainfall for the day. So that's a good number for us. All right, 343. I'm going to step aside here if things lighten then dark, and yeah, I know, Jackie. That's what I've been watching. Look at that one more time. So we'll step aside, give this thing a time to kind of settle itself out. If new warnings come out, tornadic or intensely severe, we'll come back in and we can talk more. Thanks again for sticking around and being a part of this afternoon. Hopefully it's helpful to you and or your family or some folks that you care about. And if I don't talk to you again this afternoon, we'll be updating things as we need to. With radar images and whatnot, and we'll obviously talk in the morning with our Friday weather update for the morning, which will happen about 7:15, and we'll have a lot of warm temperatures to talk about, downright hot for us. So you guys enjoy your afternoon. Thanks again for letting me hang here with you for a couple minutes, and we'll talk soon. All right.
Thanks for watching this live broadcast from Doc Deason's Weather. When weather's at its worst, we're at our best. Doc Deason's Weather, the calm in the storm.